Welcome to One Girl in All the World, a Buffy the Vampire Slayer rewatch podcast where we recap each episode in order and discuss. I'm Ashley, Buffy superfan.
I'm Kimmy, Buffy newbie.
You can find us on all major podcast apps, YouTube, and Instagram with new episodes on Tuesdays. Okay, so today we are talking about Season 2, Episode 3, School Hard, which is a big one in the Buffyverse. You've seen the whole show. You have the hindsight.
I see what you're talking about now.
Mm-hmm. So we have we'll get to all of this, obviously, but with the entrance of my all-time favorite character. I wore that drawing shirt.
What's the drawing shirt? What is that? Stand up.
This.
Let's see
Shirt.
Who made
shirt. That? So, like I said, when I wore it the first time, it's a drawing of one character done by another character in the last episode.
Oh,
but it does have a Spike. It has a Spike connection, so that's why I wore it. This is his first episode.
Okay.
Yeah. So not for a long time, but it is connected to Spike in some way. So, all right. So what did you think off the top of your head? Initial.
I thought it was okay. I'll be honest. I thought it was okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We can get to
too principal heavy for me.
It was a bit Snyder heavy, wasn't it? I mean, it was just at school, a school event. So
yeah, that's fair.
He was funny in this episode, though, I thought.
He had his moments. There were a few things where I was like, okay, fine, yeah.
Okay, I'll leave you. You can be here for this one episode. All right, let's get the deets. So, School Hard originally aired September 29th, 1997. Is written by David Greenwalt and Joss Whedon and directed by John T. Kretschmer. And the synopsis is, when parent-teacher night is interrupted by uninvited guests, Buffy must protect her fellow students, the principal, and her mother while keeping her secret. Meanwhile, Angel's old friends Spike and Drusilla visit Sunnydale for the Night of St. Vitus, the holy night of attack. All right, so we get the Slayer opening again.
Yeah, I was unimpressed by that.
Like, okay. Okay, anyway, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. I'm going to tell you it doesn't exist. We open in Snyder's office.
Yeah.
Snyder.
And two students.
Talking to two students, basically the two biggest problem students in the school.
Which is... okay, sorry. Let's get through that, and then I'll talk about my comments about it.
You'll vent then.
Or we'll at least get to the part that really bugged me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's talking to Buffy and another student named Sheila, who is new to us, and they says they are the most troublemakers in the school, that Sheila has stabbed a teacher with a trowel, and she says, no, I didn't.
Corrects him. Well, she's like, I didn't stab no one with no trowel, I think she said.
Yeah, she has
They were pruning shears.
Yeah, pruning shears, get it right. And then Buffy has burned down a school building, which it wasn't at this school.
So that's the part that bothered me the most. Like, is this your most troubled, one of your most troubled students, and you're talking about something she didn't even do at this school? Like, what has she actually done at this school?
Well, he does say, like, they're pretty much neck and neck with, like, skipping classes and fighting. Which, okay, but the other thing Buffy didn't even do at the school. Like,
yeah, exactly. So how is she being held responsible for that one?
Yeah.
That really bugged me. Okay, moving on.
Exactly. So basically, he is kind of blackmailing them into...
he gives them a punishment.
Yeah. Yeah, he says, okay, because you guys are the two troublemakers, like the biggest thorns in my side.
Yeah.
I'm going to make you put on parent-teacher night together. So you have to, like, do the decorations, refreshments.
Banners.
Yeah, like, get everything hospitable for the parents coming in.
Transform the school lounge.
Yeah. And he's like, and if you do a good job, it could influence what I tell your parents. Which is at the kind of, like, the blackmail-y kind of part. I feel like he's like, do all this work that I'm probably supposed to be doing, or a teacher's probably supposed to be doing, and I'm going to make you all do it. Yeah, and maybe it will work in your favor. He said it will garner, like, my goodwill. Like, he pretty much says it outright.
Which is kind of a lie, so...
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't even, like, pay off.
No, it doesn't.
And, like, I'm glad, like, Willow actually, like, does, like, be like bring attention to that, but down the road. Yeah.
We'll get to that.
But that's the idea, that it's going to help them if they do this well.
And I feel like it's kind of funny because you see a contrast between Sheila and Buffy. Like, Buffy looks visibly upset. She's like, oh, crap. Like, I need to do this then. I need to make myself look better. Like, I can't have my mom knowing that I'm getting in trouble at school or not being a good student. And Sheila's just like, whatevs.
Yeah, and he's basically threatening to expel them if they don't do this well, which is a huge, obviously, consequence of not doing this well. So But yeah, Buffy is very like, yes, understood. Like, don't worry about it. And Sheila's just like, whatever, you know, chewing her gum, whatever, dude. And Buffy's like, yes, sir. Like, right on it. So they are walking out into the quad, Buffy and Sheila, and Buffy's trying to like get things already in order.
Plans. Let's talk about making that banner.
Like, tomorrow we can work on this, we can work on that. And Sheila's like, sure, whatever.
Sheila's like, bye.
Bye. And Willow and Xander join her, and they kind of, I guess, are hurt already, or they kind of know that they have to work together. And they see Sheila run over to a guy she's like, hey, meat pie.
He seems great.
He's a lot older than her, which Buffy can't really talk, to be fair.
Buffy is way older.
Yeah, he's not even living. She's literally wants to date a corpse. So, so she runs over to this guy that looks like way older, like big, muscly guy with long blonde hair. And they're like, that's the guy she can take home to mother. So, like, that's, like, the best of the guy that she's probably been with. That's the most presentable to her mother.
That's so funny.
She's just, like, very well known as, like, the bad girl at school. Because Willow says that she was smoking in 5th grade, and Willow was once a lookout for her. And that's, like, Willow's street cred, is that she was once the smoke lookout for Sheila when they were in elementary school. Yeah, it was funny. So, Buffy's stressed about this.
Yeah.
And Xander's like, don't worry about it. Like, it'll be all good. Like, as long as something horrible doesn't happen, like
between now and then.
Before now and then, like, it's gonna be a piece of cake. And of course, Willow and Buffy are like, why did you just say that? Why did you jinx us?
He jinxed it. Yep, he did.
And this is kind of cute when they're like, oh, God, like, what's wrong with you? And he, like, kind of is, like, feels bad. And he's like, I didn't, like, it's going to be fine. He kind of, like, clutches his bag to him so, like, he needs his comfort. Like, he's like,
self-soothing.
Yeah, he's, like, self-soothing, like, because they could just, like, totally, like, hate him now. That was cute. He just clutches the bag to him. He's like, it's going to be fine, guys. Oh. So then it's night, and we cut to the Welcome to Sunnydale sign.
So I got the question wrong, obviously. But also, in all fairness, when you said Welcome to Sunnydale, I thought you meant like the town sign or the city sign.
It is.
Oh, I thought. Really?
What do you think it was?
It wasn't the Sunnydale High sign?
No, it was the Welcome to Sunnydale sign.
And it's made out of paper?
No, it's like wood.
Oh, wood. Oh, okay. It just looked like it broke very easily.
Well, I mean, a car driving through it.
Yeah, okay. All right. Continue.
All right. So you're at the Welcome to Sunnydale sign, and it's night, and a black DeSoto barrels through.
Very nice car. I appreciate the car.
So Spike. Barrels through the sign, and we see somebody get out all clad in black leather and a black duster. Mm-hmm. And it's a vampire, bleach blonde hair, and he's smoking a cigarette, and he says home sweet home, which we'll ignore that he says home sweet home because it's not his home. But anyway,
he just means home sweet home now.
Yeah, like Hellmouth. The Hellmouth maybe is home, like a metaphorical home for all demons or whatever. Yeah. So we'll just let that go. Yeah, so who's this badass? That's my favorite character. Woo! Okay. Spike has officially arrived in the Buffyverse. Okay. But it's not going to probably be a good time for Buffy. All right, so then we go to the credits, and then we're at the factory, and we're still with the Order of Aurelius and the Anointed One / Colin. They're trying to still figure out their shit because they're not progressing very well. And one of the vampires is like, okay, someone needs to like rise up and like take the master's place. Mm-hmm. And this weekend is the night of St. Vigius. So like vampire power is at its height. Yep. They are going to plan to do something to take down the Slayer basically during this what did they say on the thing? Like a night of battle.
Something, and whoever kills the Slayer replaces the master.
Yeah, basically that's going to be, and this guy actually has himself in mind, obviously. Yeah. That he kind of is putting himself forward. But whoever kills the Slayer will like probably be the most worthy of taking the master's mantle. Yeah. He talks about, how does he get to the crucifixion talk? I'm trying to remember. Because that's the crucial to Spike's entrance.
Yeah, you're right. It was kind of like a side thing, just like, he just wanted to show that he was important.
Yeah.
And I was at the crucifixion, something like that.
Yeah, something about the crucifixion, and I would know. I was there.
That's right. That's what he said.
But I don't remember why he brought it up in the first place. But anyway. So that opens up to Spike entering. Spike walks into the factory and says that, my favorite line, that if every vampire who said he was at the crucifixion was actually there, it would have been like Woodstock. And that's like a very famous Spike line. That was James Marsters. This whole little part was his audition scene for Spike.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that was like one of like the first lines for Spike.
When he talks about how he was at Woodstock.
He was at Woodstock and he fed on a flower person and watched his hand like float around for 6 hours because he got drugged.
Great. Yep.
He got high off of the blood of the flower person, which is something you never really think about. Like, is the vampire just getting the blood, but they're getting whatever that person's taking too?
That's right. Yeah.
Like, can you get like an STD?
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, blood.
One
right?
that's in the blood, like a blood.
Yeah,
a blood
like
one,
HIV,
obviously.
I guess, right?
Yeah, like
or like in hepatitis.
But if you're already dead, does it matter? I don't know.
Hepatitis
Anyway.
C is bloodborne, right? Hepatitis C or is it hepatitis B? No, hepatitis B is bloodborne.
I don't know. But
anyway, continue.
It's just, yeah, what else do vampires get from the people they feed on besides blood? So yeah, Spike got high and had a good time at Woodstock. Spike says that he hears that Colin has a Slayer problem and that Spike can definitely take care of it, and that he's done a few Slayers in his time.
Yeah.
And that he doesn't like to brag about it. No, he does like to brag about it.
But he is bragging about it? Yeah, exactly.
He's very cocky.
He seems like someone who likes to brag a lot, actually.
Yeah, he's very cocky. And this is the first time we've ever met anyone that's even claimed to have killed a Slayer in the past. So it's a big deal. So he's talking about that. And then another character enters behind him named Drusilla.
She's interesting.
Yeah.
Are we going to learn more about her?
Yes.
Okay, because I'm just
always
a little confused about her situation.
Her deal. What's her deal?
What's going on there?
Yeah. So Drusilla enters, which is Spike's girlfriend, and she's crazy. She just talks in riddles, talks in not like nonsense.
Yeah.
I don't think this is. We get a little glimpse of this, but it probably isn't too obvious that she does have like powers of sight. She sees things and like can predict the future in a very roundabout, riddled, like mysterious way.
Interesting. Okay.
Like she's not like this is gonna happen. She'll like say some weird stuff that like, you know how like with a lot of like in any kind of supernatural or mystical like future reading is like it's not clear.
Yeah.
Right? It's like confusing, like what actually is going to happen, and usually it's not what you think we thought it was. Like prophecies, like they're vague and they can go different ways, you know. So that's kind of how her power works. It's not like super obvious, but she does see things that other vampires can't see, or and humans obviously.
Okay.
So when she does say, "Oh, I can't see her" about Buffy.
Yeah, something about her being in the dark.
Yeah. So. She has a sixth sense of things in the future and stuff like that. So but we'll see more of that. And I don't know if we find out on Buffy. I'll have to remember, because sometimes like backstories get developed get revealed also on the spinoff. So I'm not sure exactly when we get all of Drew's backstory.
Okay.
I'm hoping, I can't really remember where that goes, but there's a reason why she's so crazy. Like why she's like that.
Interesting.
Yeah, but she just comes in and she's talking all like poetic and like on like metaphors and swoony and like I don't even know how to describe her, like how she talks and
she's just out of it. She's a little bit out of it. She's spacey.
Like she's drunk, kind of like a little bit high or a little bit drunk. Like yeah, spacey, very spacey. And so she comes in. You can see Spike is attentive to her.
Yeah, he's actually really cute with her.
Yeah, Spike, if you are in a loving relationship with him where he loves you too, he is a great boyfriend.
Weird, okay.
If it's outside of that, he's not.
Shit show?
Yeah. Yeah, he's very attentive to people that he loves.
Okay.
Yeah, so he takes good care of Drusilla. And yeah, so he says that they're moving in. They're moving into the factory and that they're going to take care of the Slayer for him, basically. Yeah. And I love this like how they cut to the scene where Spike's like, so the Slayer, is she tough? And it cuts to Buffy's bedroom and she's combing her hair. She's like, ow! Yeah. Ow! Getting a knot in her hair. Yeah. I loved that. I loved it.
Yes, that was a good scene.
Yeah, ow, ow, which is like me when I comb my hair. I'm always like, I have a sensitive scalp. Be gentle. So her mom comes in and says, hey, I got the mail and there was a reminder about parent teacher night in that. Like,
Yep.
when are you going to tell me about that? And she's like,
She wants to know how school's going.
yeah. With this coming up, like, I should be asking, like, how's school going?
Yeah.
And obviously Buffy was not telling her about it. She said she was going to tell her, like, for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And yeah, she says, like, what are your teachers going to tell you? And Buffy's just kind of like waffling and being like, I always bring a pen to class.
Yeah. I'm
always prepared for the pen. And she's like kind of dancing around like that. It might not be good news.
And I kind of like her mom's concerned and I get that, but I just like, I didn't really like how she's like, I don't want to be disappointed in you again. That's really friggin' harsh.
That was brutal. I agree.
was like, wow, okay. And
but
then
you haven't even
Buffy's
talked
like,
to the teachers yet.
Exactly. Well, that's the other thing too. She takes like now she's interested. She's like, oh wait, it's parent teacher conference. So she didn't really, not that she didn't care before, but she's just like all of a sudden like now I need to know everything. Whereas before she didn't like do check-ins or anything. I don't know. Mm-hmm. And Buffy's like, I'm trying. I've had a lot of pressure. Like, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like she's like Joyce, which we actually learn her. I've called her Joyce this whole time, but we actually learn her name in this episode. It's just been Buffy's mom, but we learn her name is Joyce in this episode. But Joyce is, and you know what? She's human, whatever. She's been through a lot with Buffy.
I know. I go back and forth on her.
But from Buffy's perspective, like she is always expecting the worst from her. Mm-hmm. Like she's already expecting her to let her down again in like a big way. Which is, you can see Buffy reacts like hurt.
She's hurt.
Yeah. And I don't blame her. Like that's brutal.
It's really crappy.
So yeah, there's like definitely expectations that have been left in that conversation that Buffy doesn't think are going to end well. You know what I mean? And this really like pushes her more to like make sure that this parent teacher thing goes well. So she can be, maybe Snyder will be charitable to her when she's talking to her mom. And I put ouch underlined when her mom said that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause that was pretty brutal. At school, Buffy and Willow are doing the banner for parent teacher night. And Xander's kind of around, buzzing around, kind of helping, more a nuisance more than anything.
I like how Buffy's like, it's okay, I can do it all. I can catch up on classes, I can make sure I'm present in all classes, I can like do all the banner and the refreshments, I can just do everything and it's gonna be fine. And then I love how Giles and Jenny walk in and they're like, so
she's like, as long as I don't have to fight vampires. And then Giles is like, Buffy, and he's like, oh, she's like, shit.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly what I did not need you two coming over here spouting about my sacred duty. Yeah, so Giles, like you said, Giles and Jenny come over and tell Buffy, so actually about a night of Vigius, but it was Jenny who discovered it.
Mm-hmm. Not Giles.
She
thinks he needs to get updated books.
And like, she's like, we should read something published past like 1620 or whatever the date was, like something like super old.
That was funny. Yeah,
it was really funny. And she said that she like noticed, I don't know, she came across this, that it's going to be this weekend. Her calculations are that the night of St. Vigius is this weekend. And obviously it's about a big group of vampires that swept through areas and just like left very little behind. So every year, I don't know if it's annual or what it is, but vampires kind of celebrate this and they go on a rampage if they can. Buffy is stressed because she's trying to balance. She's like, okay, yeah, like after I get through this,
she just needs to get through the week.
Parent teacher night, I will focus on that. And Giles is like, no.
There's so much preparation to do.
Yeah, there's a lot of preparation we have to do. And remember what I told you about like your other life things coming in between you and your duties. Like, so they've switched back now. We had a few episodes where Buffy was like wagging her finger at Giles, and now it's back to Watcher and Slayer roles.
I mean, but like, you know, she can't really get expelled. She's got a point.
Yeah, what's she gonna do if she gets expelled? Like, what did he expect from her?
Yeah.
Like, and just like Giles saw that perspective about the talent show, this is the same thing. Like,
exactly.
You gotta stay in, you know, what's she gonna do? Like, you know, she has to keep up some kind of responsibility for the other parts of her life. But yeah, she's feeling the stress for sure. Snyder comes up and interrupts. Whether to Buffy's happy about this or not, I'm not sure. Because, like, got Giles off of her back, but now Snyder's there. And he's like, hey, did Sheila bail? Sheila's not here.
No, of course
Sheila's not there helping.
Buffy covers for her, which was very generous.
It was very generous, because Sheila hasn't really given Buffy any reason to, like, help her out.
No, Sheila sucks.
Yeah, Sheila sucks. She says,
whole
oh,
episode.
no. Yeah. She's like, like...
She went to go get more paint.
She went to get more paint. She's been helping us for hours. Like, no problem. Like, it's all good. And Sheila shows up. She kind of stumbled, obviously hungover.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh my God, you come to school hungover? Jesus, kid.
She kind of goes up to her and be like, oh, you're back. I know you've been helping us. And everything, like, trying to, like, fill her in. Like, hey, just play along. And Snyder is like, okay, all right, fine. And leaves. And Sheila does thank her for covering for her. One thing, little mention, that's why we're at the Bronze, is that Willow was like, oh, I thought we were going to go to Bronze tonight. But you have to study for French. But Angel said he might be there. So she's like, okay, we're going to go to the Bronze. I'm going to do everything. I'm going to go to the Bronze and study and try to get my freaky on with Angel. I'm going to do it all at the same time. Okay. So now later, they're at the Bronze. Willow and Buffy are studying French at the table. Which,
oh, they're studying French?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that was so bad. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I didn't realize as someone who actually speaks French that they were trying to speak French. Okay.
Yeah. They're studying French. Xander is dancing very badly in the background, if you see that. Very.
Oh, he dances better than I do.
I mean, yeah. You know what? Fair, because he dances better than I do, too. So I guess I shouldn't throw shade to Xander for that. They're trying to study, waiting for Angel, just being present there in case Angel shows up. And Buffy is trying to say something, and she ends up saying, the cow should touch me from Thursday.
She definitely didn't say that.
And Willow says that she even said it wrong. Like, she said it the wrong way. And Buffy's like, well, that's what I wanted to say. But I meant to say that.
To say it like that.
Well, you said it wrong the way you said it. Yeah, so she's just, like, sinking. And every plate she is trying to juggle is starting to chip and break.
Yeah. Oh.
So Xander comes over and says, hey, you guys have been studying for like 12 minutes. It's time to dance. And Buffy's like, yeah, that's why I can't concentrate. I've been doing this too long.
Dance break.
Yeah. So they all head out there. And I like how Xander and Buffy are just like dancing. And Willow's kind of just standing there, not
so
like
cute.
bobbing.
She's trying.
That's very Willow, I would say. I think Willow would be very hard to dance in public for her, I would say. Yeah. Yeah. So she kind of bobs along, like kind of just, next to them, and they're actually dancing, which I think is like very good, well done. Like, I don't think Willow would just let all boo,
no,
just let it all hang out and dance like freely. I don't think Willow would be comfortable with that. So in the background, in the crowd, we see Spike coming into the Bronze, and he's watching. Obviously, they've told him about Buffy, and she he knows where to find her, what she looks like.
Zeroes it on her.
He's watching her dance. Now, do you remember in The Harvest? I think it was in The Harvest when Jesse was watching Cordelia dance.
Oh no, I forgot about that.
And I was like, this reminds me of another scene.
Oh, wow. Okay.
When he's like kind of stalking her while she's dancing.
Okay. So
this is the scene that I had thought about. Which this one is much more notable for like fans overall than the Jesse and the Cordelia one. But same kind of vibes. It's like very, very similar to that scene where he's like walking the perimeter of the Bronze, watching her dance. It's very hunter / like sexual
creepy.
/ like all this stuff. Like
super creepy.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff with vampires and the hunting stuff. It's all like mixed up. Like there's like, sexual stuff and there's lust and hunger, like sexual and literal for blood and all this. Yeah. So that's all there in this stalking scene. Yeah, this one shot of Spike kind of watching her, sussing her out. Spike kind of like, he tells one of his lackeys to go get something to eat. And then he comes up to a guy that's dancing or on the dance floor near Buffy and says, hey, somebody call the police. There's somebody in the alley trying to bite someone.
Buffy takes off.
Buffy takes the bait.
She took the bait.
And runs out into the alley. And Xander and Willow follow. She runs out there and she sees a woman being attacked by the vampire that Spike's in out there. That poor vampire was just like, okay, I'll just go get a snack. It didn't know he was like being a sacrificial lamb. Like,
he was also bait.
He was also bait, yeah. And they get the girl away, and Willow and Xander take get her out of there. And she, like, when Buffy's like, a steak would be nice because she just ran out there.
Oh, yeah. And then Xander runs back, goes to her backpack, and he like finds what, like an apple, and he's like,
he finds a yo-yo. The red thing's a yo-yo.
Oh, a yo-yo.
It's the yo-yo from the last episode when she was like remember in the beginning when she was talking to Angel?
Yes.
He was yo-yoing on the grave.
Right,
that was that yo-yo. He finds a tampon, which he immediately lets go like it's on fire. And then the steak.
Then he finds a steak.
And someone stole all their books. Because all their books are not on the table anymore. What happened to all their
I didn't even notice that. Oh, wow. Okay.
So someone stole her French book.
Good catch.
So she's really screwed.
I mean, she's not going to need that French book. She's a lost cause.
So he finds the steak, runs out there, and throws it to her. And she's kind of fighting with the vampire. And before she does stake him, but before, and Spike's watching from the shadows. Mm-hmm. And he says, oh, I don't have to wait for St. Vigius. I'm just going to kill you now. And then when he starts to like lose, he says like, Spike, give me a hand or something. So Buffy hears that. And then she does
distracted.
She does stakes the vampire. And then Buffy and Spike meet for the first time. And he comes out of the shadows clapping, like kind of congratulating her on her kill. He's been watching her. And basically she asks like, who are you? And he's like, You'll find out on Saturday. You'll find out on Saturday what happens on Saturday. I kill you. So she did hear the other vampire call him Spike. But he just kind of fades in the darkness. So he just kind of like introduces himself, kind of, as your killer, as your murderer. And then just leaves it there and takes off. So Buffy's like, who the hell is this guy? So we go to another bar. I think Willow mentioned that Sheila goes to a bar called the Fish Tank. So I'm assuming this is the back of the fish tank.
Must be. I missed
We don't,
Good
like,
catch.
I'm just putting two and two together because Sheila's there and it seems to be the back of the bar.
She's talking to two guys about a Cadillac.
Yeah, she loves a cad. Like, she just wants to, like, get down and dirty in a Cadillac. And she's walking with two guys and they, like, one by one, like, disappear because they're kind of walking a bit behind her. Mm-hmm. And she's like, what the heck? And then she turned around and Spike's there. And he basically says, oh, they got sleepy. She's like, where did they go? And she's intrigued.
She's very intrigued.
Because why wouldn't you be? And he's like, oh, you know, they're not good enough for you. Like, you found something better or whatever. And he kind of, like, just walks away. And she follows him because, I'm Sheila in this moment.
Okay, we all know who Team Spike is.
I'm Sheila in this moment. Lead me to my death. That's fine. So she is like, ooh, who are you? And follows him off. And we'll maybe see her again later. So he just lures her away. In the library, Giles is looking up Spike. Like, that's all the information that she really has.
And they know that can't be his original name. Giles is talking about it. He's like, he can't be any worse than any other creature you've faced.
Yeah.
And then Angel walks in. He's like, he's worse.
Yeah, he's worse. He doesn't stop until everything in his path is dead.
Yeah, that's not great.
Yeah. We find out later that in this episode that Spike and Angel know each other very well.
Yeah, very interesting.
And they have honestly, in the whole Buffyverse, their relationship is so funny.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. By the end of the season, you will get it. Like, you'll get, like, their
because this episode, I mean...
It was very brief.
I was going to say we understand the relationship, but yeah, there isn't a whole lot going on there. Okay.
And it develops because it's so soon. Like, I don't think they knew what they were going to do with them knowing each other yet.
Okay, that's fair.
But, yeah, it's really funny to watch those two together. Okay. So, that's all to come. Angel is warning them that Spike is not to be underestimated. Mm-hmm. And, of course, when they go to ask him more questions, he takes off. He just leaves.
Typical Angel.
But not before Buffy says, hey, why didn't you come to the Bronze? Like, he said, oh, you said you might be there. She's like, well, I was being cool. Like, come on.
You've been around for 200 years. Don't you understand when someone's trying to flirt with you?
Yeah. So the first thing Buffy cared about was, why weren't you at the Bronze? I was there. You know, I don't care about the Spike guy. I want to know why you didn't show up at the Bronze. To Giles' annoyance. He's like, we have bigger problems than that. As usual, he says.
So this next scene is interesting.
Yeah, in the factory.
Creepy dolls?
Yeah, so
the creepy dolls.
And she calls one Miss Edith. So Miss Edith is back. Do you remember Miss Edith?
Oh, wait. That was from one of the other episodes.
It was from Out of Sight.
Oh, that's right.
I'm Out of Mind, Out of Sight.
Okay, that's right.
I always
With the
say it wrong.
disappearing girl, right? The disappearing
Yeah.
girl?
So she had that random doll up in the crawl space or
I
whatever.
forgot about that.
And I
Yeah,
said,
okay.
that's Miss Edith. So Miss Edith is back, and it is Drew's favorite doll.
Okay, like, had you not connected some of these dots for me, I wouldn't have caught that at all.
Well, this is the first time that I ever like got that, because I do a
really?
deep dive on every episode. So like this isn't something I knew like on all previous watches.
Okay.
I just found it out. That's why I'm like I'm learning more about the show every like on this specific rewatch.
Well then.
I'm doing more research on every episode than just watching it and going on.
Okay,
So I didn't. This is new to me. Well, no, it's your first time. You have plenty to digest and process and like take in. So and I've seen all of these like many
Multiple
times.
yeah.
So yeah. So I'm looking for like the next layer or like
Yeah.
the 15th
so Miss
layer.
Edith. Okay, that's funny.
And
That's,
all of
that's
them
a
are
cute
blindfolded,
Easter egg, yes.
which is very creepy.
God.
And Miss Edith did something bad. So she turns her around because all the dolls are facing forward. She turns her
Getting
around
punished.
and she gets no cakes today from Miss Edith. Drew is hilarious. Like she's nuts. I think somebody, it might be Spike, like I don't remember. Somebody calls her like crazy as a sack of hammers or something. Something like that.
That's an interesting.
The way that people describe Drew throughout the show, this is so funny because they were like, she's nuts. Yeah, Miss Edith makes her official appearance. The Spike shows up and says they kind of explain why they're in the Hellmouth to begin with. That the Hellmouth is going to restore Drew. She's weak, and we did hear that before when we first met Drew. Spike said, "Oh, you shouldn't be walking around. You're weak." And that they were in Prague, and that a mob almost killed Drew. So they're there to help the Hellmouth restore her to her full strength. Saying like once St. Vitus happens, that they're just going to be able to run this town and like do whatever they want. And Drew says that Spike should go join in on because you in the background you can hear chanting. So like the other vampires are getting ready for this like celebration. There's like ceremonial aspects to it. So she thinks he should go up there and like make buddies with them because they don't trust him. And he's like, fine, I'll go, but I need you to eat something. And Sheila is like tied up in the room, just witnessing all this.
Creepy.
And just shoves Sheila at Drew, and then he takes off. So he's like telling Drew to eat Sheila.
She turns into a vampire, so her face turns.
And she says, see, Miss Edith, you could have watched like all the rest. But she's in trouble for something, so Miss Edith can't watch her feed on Sheila.
So do we find out why she's crazy?
Yes. In the library, everyone, this is a good scene. Oh, yeah. Everyone is prepping for St. Vitus.
Xander and Cordelia are making steaks.
Willow is just messing with the crossbow. Yeah. And Giles is like, whoa, okay, take it easy. Take it easy with the crossbow. Like, not point that around.
Buffy's holding these like machete type things.
Yeah, she has a machete.
And then you cut the camera pans down and she's like chopping vegetables for the
because her thing. Yeah, her priority is Teacher Bear at night, not St. Vitus. So she's like very sanitary with a battle weapon, chopping up veggies for a veggie tray. I loved that. It was brilliant. She's chopping up veg, and
Cordelia is really funny in this scene.
Yeah, and like. This is like the first time when she's really like involved without her being involved for her own reasons. Like she's a victim, she's the bait, she's whatever. Like she's involved in because she's part of like whatever somebody's plan. Like she's just part of the group in this episode. So she's starting to assimilate into the Scoobies a bit. But she doesn't want to. She's like, I'm done. Like, how long am I doing this? And Xander's like 3 minutes. I think my favorite. She's like, why are we doing this? Like she doesn't need this many steaks, and if Spike is that bad, it's gonna be quick. And of course, everybody is like, oh, she's gonna die. You're like,
but of course, we're still rooting for you.
I love this scene, this line. She's like something along the lines of, "I would be there for you myself if I didn't have a leg wax."
Yeah, that was pretty. Yeah.
So
all right, Cordelia, great. Yes, a leg wax.
Yeah, that was Cordelia.
Super important.
So funny. Yeah. So, but Buffy again is like, whatever, I just need to worry about this. Okay, the parents are arriving in an hour. And then Willow says, you need punch. Punch! Oh, shit. Okay, I have to go make punch. So she's Like, I will worry about imminent death after I deal with this teacher parent night. Like, okay, that's my priority.
After the punch.
Yeah, after the punch. In the student lounge, so we are fast forwarding to parent night is starting, and Willow is helping. Well, first of all, we see Buffy. The punch she made is air quote like punch is lemonade
Without sugar.
with no sugar.
That scene made me laugh so hard. I don't know why. It made me laugh harder than like almost anything else.
Yeah, Willow tries it and is like, ugh. And you know what, Willow? Like, I don't get it because I used to just like wring a lemon into my mouth. So
Yeah, same. I think that would be the best lemonade ever.
yeah, like I would not have a problem with that lemonade.
Same.
But I would be maybe surprised if I thought it was lemonade and it wasn't. Like I wasn't expecting it, but I would still be like, oh, I'd be surprised. But I'm like, ooh, let me have some more of that. Let me rot my teeth right out of my mouth. I did when I was a kid because I ate so many lemons. So yeah, Buffy tried. It's cute. And Willow doesn't say anything. She says, yummy.
Because she's a good friend.
Yeah, she's a good friend. And she's even a better friend because when Buffy's mom shows up, Willow because Willow don't need to worry about parent-teacher night. She's like the best student in the school, never in trouble. Well, she's getting a little bit of trouble lately, but because of her association with Buffy. But she doesn't worry about her grades or anything like that.
Oh, yeah,
she doesn't worry about a bad report card or anything.
No.
So she spends her whole evening helping Buffy's mom avoid
Principal Snyder.
Principal Snyder and any other teacher, it seems.
So weird how they just, like, as soon as they get to a classroom, the teacher's not there.
Yeah,
so
it's weird. And we do get, like, a little passage of time in the same scene. I thought we would, like, cut away and came back, but we don't. We see the clock going.
Oh, yeah.
So then Joyce comes back and says, oh, yeah, like we said, every time I get to I think I've seen every classroom on campus, and every time I get there, the teacher has just magically left.
Weird.
And unfortunately, Buffy's and Willow's luck has run out because Snyder walks in at that moment, and Buffy's mom introduces herself as Joyce Summers, which it's funny that Joyce still has her married name. Oh, yeah. Because she's divorced.
It's like a lot to take, like, to change that back, I hear. It sounds like a lot of paperwork and stuff.
When you're divorced, change your name is tough if you're not getting married or divorced. If you are getting married or divorced, it's just part of the paperwork. Because I used to work in family law for a very short stint.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So in like your final, in your final divorce papers, it says like it's built in, like, do you change name, and you just like, it's part of the paperwork for your divorce.
Because I know someone in my family that didn't change their name.
I mean, you don't have to. My grandma never did.
Oh, okay.
If you don't do anything, it stays. But it's not hard to do it.
Okay. All right.
If you're just like, I want to just change my first name, that is more difficult. But if you're getting married or divorced,
when you have to change your name, though, like even if you do it on that paperwork, you still have to change it everywhere else, though, right?
You do, yeah.
Driver's license, your passport. Yeah, I think maybe that's more what I meant.
Yeah. You still have like stuff you need to take care of.
Yeah.
But it's not like hard to change, like get the name change, legal name change there. Yeah. You still have to update everything. But yeah. So just interesting that her name's Joyce and it's still Summers. Snyder says, okay, let's go to my office. And everyone's like, oh no. Okay. Yeah. Like, Joyce knows this is not good. Buffy knows it's not good. And poor Willow's like, oh, like, I thought you did a good job. Like, yeah, exactly. That was part of the deal, right?
I mean, exactly. He said, like, if you make the banners and do the refreshments and transform things, then, like, that's what it sounded like.
Yeah, that was, like, part of the deal. Like, maybe I'll consider not being as harsh to your parents.
Yeah.
But it was all a lie, I guess.
Yeah, he's terrible. We don't like him.
He's terrible. And it's funny because Cordelia's there at that point and says that, oh yeah, you're going to be still grounded at our 10-year reunion. And I love when Willow says, Cordelia, have some punch. She's like, okay. So Cordelia's going to get a very sour surprise when she tries the punch. So that was cute.
To match her attitude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in the library, Giles finds that Spike is also known as William the Bloody. And he is known for this because he apparently tortures his victims with railroad spikes.
Yep.
Giles is like, ooh, that's pleasant, like sarcastically, something like that.
He's barely 200 years old.
Yeah, so he's younger than Angel. He's fought 2 Slayers and killed them both.
And that's kind of a big deal, I feel.
That is insanely a big deal.
Yeah.
And this is why, again, remember I told you I didn't like the fact that Giles didn't know who Angel / Angelus was?
Okay, yeah.
Same here. Same thing. Because Angel and Spike are the two most notorious vampires ever. Okay, they're in future episodes, you'll have like, okay, this isn't really a spoiler. Do you know what the Watchers Council is? Have we talked about that at all? Okay, well, it's not a hard stretch to imagine that the Watchers are organized in some way. Okay. Yeah, because it's like Giles, like it's went through his family line. There is a Watchers Council.
Interesting, okay.
There is a governing body above this, okay? And in the future, you do see some other people from the Watchers Council, and they know who Angel and Spike are.
Oh,
like it's like again, hindsight of like where the show went, but definitely Giles should have known who Angel and Spike were. Yeah, or at least when he saw William the Bloody. William the Bloody should have been like, even if it was like Angel and Spike and Jealous and William the Bloody, no excuse for him not knowing who they were.
Yeah, okay.
But you know, they were still figuring things out, I guess. Yeah. But definitely Giles should have known who they were and known that it was bad. So he should have known, like, that this vampire killed 2 Slayers. You know, he's supposed to study all this stuff. So Spike has killed 2 Slayers, which is a huge, huge deal. Yeah. So he's like, oh, no, this is way more serious than we anticipated. Yeah. In the lounge, Joyce and Snyder come out and nobody's looking happy. No. Yeah. And Buffy's in trouble. She just says, get in the car. Like, let's go.
That's like, if you hear that from your parent, oh my God, like that is one of the worst things a parent can tell you. Like, oh shit.
Yeah, like I am in deep trouble. So Buffy's like, oh, God, okay, it's over. Like I tried so hard. So she's so resigned and just And something that we've brought up, it's been brought up a few times, but we may feel we didn't bring it up, was how like Buffy, when she was talking to her mom in the scene in her bedroom where she said, I don't want to be disappointed again. Yeah. And Buffy said she's under a lot of pressure. She's like, oh, wait till you get a job. And later Buffy's like, I do have a job.
Yeah.
I do have a job. And she like has all of her vampire stuff in her bedside table. Yeah. And then also when Sheila runs off with Meat Pie, Buffy was like, that's how my mom sees me. She like sees me as a Sheila. Like she's like, it's not fair. Like, do the other vampire slayers have to go to high school? Like, so she's like all this perception of her being this bad kid, when she's got all this like responsibility on her that people just cannot even that she can't.
She's like Spider-Man.
Yeah. So, you know, she gets a bad rap from these adults in her life because they
don't know, and she can't tell them.
Yeah. So that's a theme that we see here, that she's a bad, air quote, bad kid, but she has like, or the responsibility of the world on her shoulders. Yeah. So she is in trouble, but Spike saves the day.
Spike and his friends just come crashing through right in the window.
Yeah, right over the refreshment table, like ruining all that stuff. And Spike says he just couldn't wait. He couldn't wait for St. Vigus, so he's gonna like storm in there and kill her then. Spike is very impulsive. He is a very impulsive person. Yeah. So this is very on brand for Spike. He's like, I want to go right now. Okay.
Yeah. I like how Buffy like doesn't even hesitate. She's just like, okay, I just need to get everybody out of here. And she just starts corralling everybody and like getting them away. Yeah.
Because it's pretty much like immediate like chaos. Everyone's just like running everywhere and screaming. And Spike comes with multiple other vampires, like 5 probably. So it's there's a bunch of them. And everyone starts running. Buffy and Spike immediately start fighting. She like throws a chair at him and he's like, whoa! Like, okay.
I know, right?
The fight scenes just get better and better and better and better and better as the show goes on. But I'm like, okay, Spike is not going to be deterred by a little plastic chair. And then like also when she like rolls the like janitor cart at them and they're like, whoa! And like 2 vampires fly all over the place. Like, please, give me a break. Like, that would not deter these vampires at all. Like, it's just so funny. Let's see. Okay, oh gosh. Everyone's just running around. I'm going to try to get this in the best order as I can. Buffy, Joyce, Snyder, and a few others are running through the hallway. And Giles, Jenny, and Xander come out because they hear the commotion. And Buffy, like, screams at them that Spike and an army! Like, so they all run back into the library. So those 3 are in the library. That group I just talked about with Buffy and Joyce run into the science lab across the hall.
And a vampire tries to grab Cordelia, and Willow like grabs a head bust thing and
like a bust,
slams the vampire and grabs Cordelia and runs. Way to go, Willow.
Yeah, she's thinking quick. And they run into a broom closet and hide. Yep. So that's where everybody's like positioned. And Spike grabs some random parent, and they all say they've cut the power. So and like the phone lines and everything. So everybody's trapped.
Yeah.
And he kills this guy. And I love, like, they did a lot of, in this episode, I noticed a lot, they cut away from a lot of effects. So, like, when this guy would have had his head broken, they cut away to the vampire and they come back and his head's like hanging off. And then every time somebody transforms from vampire to, or human face to vamp face, they cut away. And so, because later on, you see it happen all the time. Like, very often, you see it, like, transform. But that's cost money they don't have right now. And then, like, also, when a couple vampires are dusted in this, they fall out of frame. And then, so you don't actually see. So they're trying to save money on the special effects.
So funny that you, like, I mean, as someone like me, who this is my first time watching it, I don't have any frame of comparison. So for me, I don't even think about stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting that you've seen the later episodes and you can kind of compare, like, the way they do things later on to now. And just
it all comes down to, like, how much money they were given. As the show got more popular, they got more money. And so they were able to spend more on the special effects.
Cool. And, like, I'm guessing it got a lot more viewership this season.
Yeah. This is a huge season for the show.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so he kills that guy, so we kind of just see, for no reason, Spike just is, to kill her. He just kills this guy and is like, he wants to slay her. That's what he came for. But he has no problem killing everybody in the process as well. Mm-hmm. In the library, Giles is trying to call out, and he finds out that the phones are out.
They're dead. Yep.
And he tells Xander to go out through the stacks. I put down stakes. Stacks is what I meant to, right? He's like, there's a boarded up cellar in the stacks. Well, duh. I mean, people have, like, vampires. Darla's been in there. Everybody knows about that, right? Everybody's come through the back of the stacks. Like, vampires have come through, like, every episode. So I don't know why, like, he's like, yo, that's right. There's that thing in that boarded up cellar in the back of the stacks. The whole, like, escaping and going outside but not going outside in this episode is confusing to me, but we'll get to that. So he tells Xander to, like, run and get Angel.
Yep.
And Xander doesn't want to because he wants to make sure Buffy and Willow are okay. And he's like, nobody's going to be okay if you don't go. So he agrees and he takes off. So Xander's out through the stacks. In the science room, Buffy's trying to control everyone, keep everyone calm.
God, Principal Snyder is just...
Yeah.
He, like, wants to get out, and she's trying to tell him not to go out. And she's like, you need to listen to me. So it's like that role reversal thing again. Yeah.
And he's like, oh, yeah? Like why would we listen to you? Like, who do you think you are? And she's like, I know who I am, know who's going to stop them. And he says it's a gang on PCP. And I meant to look up, I know it's a drug, but what is it? I meant to look it up, and I keep forgetting.
Oh, yeah.
You know what it is?
It's phenacyclidine or phenycyclohexyl, piperidine. Oh, sorry, I'm okay.
No, it's also known as angel dust, which is funny.
Causes hallucinations, distorted perception, sounds, and violent behavior.
Okay, yeah. So he thinks it's a gang on PCP, and I knew it was a drug, but I didn't know, like, what it actually was. Like, okay, so good. I kept, like, don't forget to look that up, Ashley. Don't forget to look that up, Ashley, and I forgot. So yeah, here we go. Live deep diving on this episode. And yeah, Buffy's trying to control everyone. Everyone's supposed to try to get out. There's another parent, a guy in there with them that is a character we just don't know.
Yep.
And she's trying to keep everyone calm. And Buffy is taking control, and Joyce is like, hey, I know you've been like accused of all kinds of stuff, but these people are, like, it seems serious. Like, there's something wrong with their faces. Like, so she's seeing that they're vampires, but she's not connecting that's what's happening.
Yeah.
And she's like, I know I'm not going out there. I'm going through the ceiling. So she climbs up through the ceiling, is going to travel through the school through the ceiling.
Yep.
So in the hallway, Spike is kind of, like, taunting her, calling out to her, saying that
Someone's in the ceiling.
that if he finds one of her friends, he'll drain them dry. If he finds a friend before her, then he'll just kill them. So come out, because you're putting all your friends at risk. Yep. And Willow and Cordelia are in the closet as he's walking by, and they're trying to be really quiet because he's right there.
Yeah.
And he hears her in the ceiling and just says that, someone in the ceiling. In the library, Giles, this is really sweet.
Okay, this is my favorite line, actually.
Giles is getting ready he's grabbing all of his weapons. He's gonna, like, he's trying to get out the barricaded door. He's like, she's my responsibility. I have to go out there. I have to protect her.
I'm the watcher, and I'm responsible for her.
Yeah, it's so sweet. He's got to go out there and fight alongside of her.
Yeah.
And, you know, you think, of course, that Jenny's going to try to talk him out of it, but she just says, be careful.
She's like, be careful,
Yeah.
Because she empathizes. She understands.
Yeah, she knows, like, where he's coming from.
Yep.
So before he can do that, Buffy falls out of the ceiling in front of them at their feet and scares the shit out of them. And he's, you know, relieved that she's okay. And he kind of, like, says, like, okay, Giles updates her that Xander went to get Angel and that they don't know where Willow and Cordelia are, but then everyone else is in the science room across the hall. So he's like, okay, I'm coming with you. I'm going to help you fight these vampires. And she says, my mom's across there. Like, if I don't get out, that's your job. Like, you need to make sure my mother gets out of here alive. And he says, bloody right, I will. It's so cute. He's like, okay, I can do that, Buffy. I can do that. I can protect your mom. So it's very cute. And Buffy jumps back into the ceiling and goes back on her way after she, like, grabbed, like, stakes and stuff. Like, she went over there and got some supplies. In the science room, Joyce and Snyder are fighting. She's saying they want to leave. And Buffy's like, Joyce is saying that Buffy says, you know, we shouldn't leave. Like, we need to stay here until Buffy tells us it's safe, which I don't know why she's just assuming Buffy knows what to do. But she's trusting her daughter.
And then he's like, oh, there's a certain mother-daughter resemblance here. What a jerk.
Yeah, I don't think that Snyder and Joyce are going to be on good terms from here on out.
I mean, he obviously just finished telling her what a bad kid she is, and then he says that, so.
Yeah, it's a personal insult to Joyce.
Yep.
So the other dad, the only person that's in there, is like, I'm sick of waiting. I'm trying to get out of here. So he starts peeling back, like, there's, like, kind of, like, weird kind of blinds, like permanent blinds across the window.
I don't really know what those were, but
yeah, they were interesting. And so he starts peeling them back, and he opens the window, and he's halfway out. And Snyder is like, yeah, let's go. Like, forget her. Like, we're going.
Yep.
And that guy's halfway out before he gets attacked by a vampire.
Yep, and you can hear it.
Yeah. He's eaten, and he gets pulled through, and then Joyce pushes Snyder out of the way and closes the window.
Yep.
So it's like, okay.
Boards it back up.
It back up, yeah. So it's just those two in there for now. And while this is happening, the vampire they're trying to make their way through the door. So, you know.
Yeah, they're axing it. They're using an axe to get through it.
Yeah, they're trying to get through the door. Outside, Xander and Angel arrive, and he's kind of telling him, like, filling him in about what's happening. He's like, do you have a plan? And he was like, yeah. And he just grabs Xander by, like, the scruff of the neck and just, like, pulls him. Like, just takes him away. So
and Xander's like, okay.
In the closet, Willow and Cordelia are still just sitting there. They don't know what to do. And Willow just says, we can pray. It sets up for, like, later jokes, I guess. So that makes sense. But in the moment, it does seem kind of weird.
A little off, yeah. Okay.
In the hallway, Spike and another vampire start stabbing the ceiling. Like, just start impaling the ceiling in different areas because they know Buffy's, like, moving around the school through the ceiling. Buffy drops down in a different area and stakes the vampire that was trying to axe the door that her mom and Snyder are in.
And her mom, like, at some point, it's interesting because I see that she has a vantage point. She can kind of see out, but she doesn't see that. She doesn't witness that. So I think that's interesting how they're, like, keeping her mom in the dark about things still. Because I was wondering at one point if, like, oh, maybe they're going to tell her mom. I guess they can't. I know they can't, but I had small hope that maybe her mom would come on board so she wouldn't have to hide everything from her mom. But yeah.
Her mom is still she's not aware of what's going on for sure. Yeah. And she tells her, okay, like, just stay in there. Like, there's more. Like, don't come out yet. I'm going to tell you when it's time. So Buffy's kind of, like, lurking through the hallway, like, looking for the other vampires. And
comes across Sheila.
Yeah, Sheila, like, kind of, like, pops up behind her. She's like, where the hell you been? And she's like, oh, sorry, you know. And she's like, people are trying to. She's like, there's weird people outside, or some weird guys outside. And she's like, yeah, they're trying to kill us. So Sheila picks up the axe and is like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna help. Like,
she's like, this should be fun.
Yeah, she's down for, like, stabbing some more people, but this time with an axe. So all this stuff kind of, like, happens in different hallways. So we're kind of changing location, but it's all happening in different hallways.
Like different. Yeah.
Different same location, different areas of the same location. Sheila and Buffy kind of just take off as a team now down the hallway. Angel walks into the school with Xander kind of, like, holding him like a victim or a hostage or whatever. Yeah, like a hostage. And immediately Spike knows Angel.
Angelus.
Yeah, he calls him Angelus, which does not stick. It's Angelus.
Oh, Angelus. Okay, yeah.
So it's just a thing that they just haven't figured out yet. It just... we'll see if it happens again, but it's Angelus is Angel's like demon name or whatever.
Okay.
Spike, what? That's not his name. But yes, see, early season 2. And they like hug, which is very also not in character for those two, but whatever. Yeah. You'll come to see how they are. And they kind of catch up a little bit, and
Angel pretends he doesn't like Buffy.
Angel pretends that he's evil. That he doesn't have a soul, and that he just kind of like keeps Buffy on the hook, kind of, so like he can feed and just live his life. You know what I mean? And Xander's like, I knew it. I knew you were lying. Yeah, he basically he pretends to still be a demon, like that. A soulless, he is a demon anyway, but a soulless demon that is just basically trying to make life easy for himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they are going to like feed on Xander together, and then they're gonna take down the Slayer together, and they're gonna feed on the vampire together. I mean, they're gonna feed on Xander together. So Buffy's in the hallway, still kind of like sneaking around, and we see Giles can see from the library that Sheila is lifting the axe to kill Buffy because Sheila's behind her.
Yep.
Warns her, and she turns around, and Sheila's a vampire.
Yeah.
Sheila's a vampire. So Drew turned Sheila, and Buffy. There's another vampire that comes up. Buffy stakes that vampire, and then Sheila kind of like is like, oh shit, and just like makes herself scarce. Yeah. Buffy gets at this point. Buffy gets her mom out of the science room and like leads. And Giles comes out and they all like leading them out of the school. And Buffy's like, I'll be right there. And her mom's like, what? No, you have to come with us. And she's like, yes, I'm right behind you. So this thing I don't understand. It was safe for Xander to go out the back of the school. It's safe for them to exit whatever exit. I think they're going to the library, I think, to go out the back, to go out that entrance. But it's not safe to go out any other entrance.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like the window is not safe. Is it because of where the exit to the stacks is? I don't know. It just seems strange. Anyway, like why it's okay to go outside in some parts. They don't know where that vampire is. He's supposed to be like probably moving around, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So it was just.
Well, and also Spike's still out there.
Yeah, there are other vampires in the school.
They don't know where Spike is. Yeah, exactly.
So it's just a bit like chaotic. I guess they're doing the best they can. I guess we'll just say that. So as Spike and Angel are about to bite Xander's neck, Spike punches Angel. He's like, you can't fool me. Like, I knew you were lying this whole time.
Man, yeah.
Yeah. And
then this threw me. Angel sired Spike? What?
So, yeah, he says,
I did not see that coming.
He said, you were my Yoda, which is a Star Wars reference. Yeah, he calls him an Uncle Tom, which is like, it says, okay, it's an offensive term. A person regarded as betraying their cultural or social allegiance. Yeah, no, that's what he's saying when he says that.
Okay, I can't believe they said that. All right.
Yeah. And
because I was like, in my mind, I was like, there's no way they meant it like that, but that's how they meant it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, 1997. And he says, yeah, you were my sire, man. So I will say, Angel did not directly sire Spike.
Oh. Okay.
But they are related.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay. They are related.
Okay.
So he is on his sire line.
Okay.
They are linked through.
Is that like
vampires.
Angel sired somebody and then they sired Spike?
Yeah.
Like he's like his grandpa?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I guess that's a spoiler, but yes, that's what happened.
Okay. So then that makes it sound like he didn't actually sire him.
He didn't. But in this context, it's kind of like he's using it as like a family.
Okay.
I guess, kind of, yeah.
All right.
But yeah, if somebody is your sire, it means they turned you. But again, they're still figuring out some terminology, I think, and how it works in this universe.
Okay. Interesting.
So Spike essentially sicks the other vampires on Xander and Angel, and they run.
And I feel like he was going to go with them, but then he, smells Buffy? What is
he
that?
senses her.
He senses
I think there's a noise, too, but I don't know what it is.
Okay.
Maybe she's picking up, like, that pipe or whatever she has.
Okay.
I think there's a noise as well. Okay. But he says he smells like a ripe girl.
Yeah, ew. That was
and turns around.
That one's kind of creepy.
And Buffy's there. and Spike has the axe.
Mm-hmm.
And
she has something.
It's like a long pipe or something. I can't remember what it is. But it's like a long stick of some kind. And it's interesting because they immediately both say, like, we're do this without weapons.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting.
Do this the old-fashioned way.
Yeah. So they both get rid of their weapons, and they just start fighting.
Yep. And he says that the last Slayer begged for her life. Wow.
Yeah, and he says he'll make it quick. He'll do her a favor and make it quick for her.
Yikes.
And she says, no, it's going to hurt. I'm going to hurt you, basically. And they just go at it, and they are very well matched.
Yeah, they're actually.
Fight partners or whatever.
They're levels.
Yeah, they look good fighting together. So they're fighting. She kind of throws him into a wall. His hand goes through the wall. And as he brings his hand out, he brings out a, like, what did I put? Like a plank of wood.
Yeah.
Comes out of the wall. And Buffy is on her back. And he's about to, like, bash her in with that plank of wood when he's hit in the head from behind with the axe. And it's Joyce. And so he falls down.
Surprised me. I wasn't expecting her to save the day.
Yeah, and she's like, get the hell away from my daughter.
I like that. Yeah, I like that.
And I don't know, Spike's like, women, and he jumps up and takes off. Like, yeah, women, just like, if you just like let them like attack their family members, like, why can't they just be cool about it?
Oh my God.
Silly.
Yeah.
So he jumps up and takes off. Outside, this is interesting. I didn't remember this part.
I thought this was interesting too, with the principal and the police.
He's talking to Bob, the police officer, and he says, so, like, what are we going to go with, like, the normal... He's like, I have dead bodies here, I have dead bodies here. Are we going to go with, like, the normal PCP gang-related story? And he's like, what do you think we're going to say? The truth?
Yeah, and I was like, what?
Yeah, so it's not like Buffy and her little gang are the only people who know that shit is up in Sunnydale.
And I get, like, okay, so Principal Snyder knows something on some level, but he hasn't put two and two together that she's helping keep it at bay.
Good point. Yeah, because if he's aware of that, maybe he hasn't obviously made the connection. And maybe he just can't, his brain can't go to that she's doing something good.
I guess, yeah.
Maybe. But there's definitely a discussion between them that they've obviously had before.
Yep.
Which is really interesting.
Yeah, and the police officer's just resigned.
Yeah, he's like, okay, we'll just say it's PCP gangs again that are causing all these problems.
Cool, yeah, sure.
It's really an interesting little scene, for sure. Giles and Jenny are walking out of the school, and he's like, if you start avoiding me, I'd understand. Because like, every time they're together, bad stuff happens.
But he's like, another fun-filled evening.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is his life.
And then she just grabs his arm, and she's like, yep, this is my life now, too.
Yeah, she's okay with it. She's okay with it.
She's very okay with it.
Yeah, so they're still going strong, so it's super cute. Angel tells Xander, he was like, tells him his plan from before. Like, what would you have done if he had bit me? He's like, well, we would have known it worked. It didn't, obviously. But that was the plan. Just because you get bit doesn't mean you'll die. Like, Angel wouldn't let him die.
You'd be fine.
But he's like, it's fine with a little prick. Like a little bite.
God.
A little bite here and there. It's never kill you.
And I like he asks what a sire is.
Yeah, so definitely Xander heard that and is curious. He's like, what was that about him, you being his sire? What's a sire?
But Angel ignores it.
Angel doesn't talk to him about it. Joyce and Buffy are kind of like walking home or just walking out on the sidewalk or something. And Buffy asks what Snyder said, and Buffy says that he said she was a troublemaker.
This surprised me because honestly, I still was kind of hoping that maybe he said something less mean about her because of everything she did. But yeah. Anyway, that she's a troublemaker, you're right.
You hope so.
I was holding out hope.
Yeah. And she says that, but what she does know is that she can take care of herself. That she saw that tonight. That she is resourceful.
And brave.
Good in a crisis, thinks of others in a crisis.
Yeah. It's a nice moment between them.
Yeah. And she's like, I'm going to sleep. Like, your safety, knowing that you can keep yourself safe and you can, like, do all of that is going to make me sleep better at night.
And it seems like she's going to maybe cut Buffy some slack.
She said for at least a week and a half.
Yeah.
And Buffy's like, cool, I get a week and a half off from being nagged about school and cutting class or fights or whatever. It's she's like, no matter like what silly like teenager stuff you feel like you need to do, I'm going to sleep better knowing that you can take care of yourself. So that is a nice moment between them. In the closet, Willow and Cordelia are still in there.
And Cordelia is praying.
And she's
just
praying.
as Willow suggested.
Because I will never be mean to anyone again if you get me out of this. Unless they really mean it or I'm on my period.
Forget my period.
You know what? You know, that is a fair asterisk.
It's not
put on that.
Her fault.
Yeah, it's a fair, like I said, like a fair asterisk to put on this request.
Yeah.
I mean, it's too much to ask. Like, your whole cycle. That's too much to ask of anybody.
Is, actually.
Yeah. So, you know, Cordelia, like, she's being realistic, you know. Mm-hmm. And Willow tells her to ask for some aspirin. And when Cordelia starts, she's like, hey.
That was funny.
Hey, you're talking about me, giving you a headache. Okay.
Also, I noticed that Willow wasn't praying.
No, she was just sitting there annoyed.
Yeah, exactly.
Willow is Jewish.
Oh, did we cover that?
I don't know if it's come up yet.
Okay.
But she is Jewish.
Okay.
Yeah, it's funny how they just never came out. They never got.
No, I know they
don't think it's going on.
Yeah.
They're just stuck in the closet still. Yeah. I loved that. And no one seems to be looking for them, too, which is not helpful.
Exactly. What happened? Xander was going to make sure that Buffy and Willow were both safe.
Yeah, and Willow's just missing. So we're back in the factory, and Spike comes back defeated.
Yep. He says that a slayer with family and friends, that sure as hell wasn't in the brochure.
Yeah, and we've mentioned this a little bit before, where, like, normally slayers are very lone wolves. They don't have the support system. Mm-hmm. And they have their watchers, but they don't have, like, family and friends. Mm-hmm. And so this is new to Spike, and this is new because this is new to, like, the Slayer line, really. That this is usually how it doesn't. This is not usually how it works. Yeah. So that does give Buffy strength.
Yeah.
It makes her a more formidable Slayer because of that. So I like that they pointed that out from the beginning, that this is different than what other Slayers have done in the past. The vampires are like, you failed, and because, you know, St. Vigis was coming up, you ruined it already because you jumped the gun. And Spike pretends to apologize.
He offers penance.
Penance, yeah. He pretends to apologize, and he says, oh, you know, if I could do it again, I was impatient, and if I could do it again, he's like, I would do it exactly the same. Who am I kidding? He's so flippant and impulsive and loves life. He loves being a vampire.
Yeah.
Spike really does love being a vampire. And he says, what I would have done differently is I would have done this first. And he grabs Colin.
Oh, my God.
Throws him in a little cage. And then uses, like, the pulley system.
Yep.
To, like, lift him up. Lift him up. And he says, we're going to have a little less ritual around here and a little more fun. And then he puts him high enough where he's in the sunlight.
And you hear him scream.
And he, like...
Yep. Holy crap. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, and I didn't remember if Colin was actually a vampire. Was turned into a vampire? Like, was he some other thing? You know what I mean? Was the anointed one a vampire? Was some other thing? Yeah. Well, yeah, because they thought the other guy that was a vampire, and they thought, well, the military kind of guy that they thought was the anointed one.
Oh yeah.
He was a vampire. So obviously, we just never saw Colin in vamp face. So I just kind of forgot that he was supposed to be a vampire.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the first time we see well, that's not the first time we see a vampire get dusted by the sun, because Luke was.
Yeah, there was someone else. Yeah.
Oh no, it wasn't the sun. It was fake sun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that's right.
Buffy staked him. Yeah, so I think this is actually the first time we see.
She uses a mirror, and then she's like, "It's nighttime" or whatever. That was.
Yeah, it was just like a street light. Yeah. 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 So Colin, I think, is the first vampire dusted by the sun. Yeah, and so Spike is basically putting himself in, like, the leader role here in Sunnydale now with the vampires. He is the head honcho now. And I like how at the end him and Drew just, like, wander out, and he's like, should we see what's on television?
Yeah, like, just
normal day.
Every other night. That's fine.
Another thing about Spike, he loves watching television. He loves, like, human comforts, which we will see. He loves human comforts. He loves TV. He loves human food. Like, it's really funny.
Can they eat food?
They can.
Okay.
Yeah. They don't need to, but they can, out of, like, for pleasure.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So, yeah, and that's the end of the episode. All right. So that was School Hard. Mm-hmm. What did you... I guess we can talk about stake rating. We can go, like, what we thought of the episode more there. My favorite scene was the Sunnydale sign. The Welcome to Sunnydale sign scene when Spike makes
Spike's entrance.
His iconic entrance into the show. Mm-hmm. And I want to say so much, and I can't. But, so he barrels through that sign, his very iconic entrance. It's so creative. I really like that scene.
Okay.
And then my favorite line is Spike's iconic line. If every vampire who said he was at the crucifixion was actually there, it would have been like Woodstock. Classic Spike line.
That is a good line. My favorite scene was the one at the end where, like, between Buffy and her mom, because I just felt like that was a little more development. Because, you know, we had that scene before where Buffy was about to get in trouble by her mom, and then it seems like Buffy's mom, like, kind of is trying to identify with her more, try and empathize with her more, and it's just, I kind of liked that. So that was my favorite scene, and then my favorite line.
Especially with that scene earlier in the episode when she was saying, I just don't want you to disappoint me again.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
so this was like this turned it around. Because it made me really not like her when she said that.
Yeah, that was brutal.
Yep. And then my favorite line is when Giles said, I am the Watcher and I'm responsible for her. I thought that was really cute.
Yeah, that was a really sweet moment.
Yeah, I like
especially with, I feel like, not Xander. Giles dropped the ball in when she was bad, like the first episode, when Buffy was going through like some dark shit.
Yep.
And he's kind of like, da, 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 da. Like, let's just train, like, not, you know, seeing it. But then, like, as soon as they got brought up, like, he was like, oh, yeah, she's a traumatic event. But I don't know, he just wasn't there for her.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, so I'm glad to see him, like, stepping up again. As,
the
like,
relationship is developing again. Yep.
Yeah, and, like, their relationship will hit bumps in the road. Like, everybody's will. So it's not like he's just a perfect father figure and watcher forever.
Yeah.
So it ebbs and flows with them. So I'm glad it's flowing. Right, ebb is bad, flow is good, I think, right? Okay.
I don't know. Yeah.
I think. I know what it means, but I don't know which one's which. I think it's flow is good. So my steak rating, I really want to say 5.
Why can't you?
Because I don't know, I can, I guess. But if I'm letting my emotions say 5, but my mind, I should say, I'm going to say 4.7.
That's very specific. Okay.
Yeah, 4.7. And I love, obviously, I'm going to be biased a bit because this is the entrance of my favorite character. So Spike's entrance, he's, without trying to say more stuff, like, he is the most complex character on the show, in my opinion, the best written, in my opinion. So there's a lot to come with him. But obviously this starts a trajectory where the show goes for years that changes because of this character in the show. So that is very crucial, knowing everything that happens. Yeah, I love the stuff with Buffy and her mom. I loved the Giles and Buffy stuff. I don't mind the, like, cutting away for all the, like, feature, like, all the special effects stuff, because they do have to, like, cut costs early in the show.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, that's fine, I guess. But, like, also, like, throwing the chair, pushing the, like, janitor's cart
thing.
And they're like, wow, it was like bowling. Like, they just all flew everywhere. It was just ridiculous. Like, it's like eye rolling. We did get a lot of Snyder, which I don't know if that's a good thing, but, you know, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about having a lot of Snyder. I don't know if I hate it or like it. But I do really, really like that that scene between him and the cop. That was, like, really telling. It was really telling. Like, it's like, ooh, what? You know, it was the same kind of feeling as when, like, the FBI, like, knew.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's like more people know. Like, the web or whatever of people that know is getting bigger than just Buffy's little group.
That's true. You're right.
Yeah. So I really did really like that. I had forgotten about that scene. So yeah, so I'm going to say 4.7, mostly carried by Spike. By Spike's arrival. Yeah.
So I gave it a 4. Good episode overall. Some of the things I liked about it was I liked how they actually Willow. One of the things I liked about it was Willow's when she took that bust and, like, hit it over the vampire's head and saved Cordelia. You know, just getting her a little stronger, and I liked that. I liked the stuff between Buffy and her mom, the development between them. That was really good. I liked, Buffy and Giles as well. I didn't like, though, the beginning with Buffy's mom, how she just was kind of mean, and I was just like, oh, okay. I just feel like we go back and forth with her a lot. Like, it's just like she progresses forward and then she just comes back, and it's just kind of, it's like almost a little bit of a roller coaster up and down with her, where she's disappointed and not disappointed. So I find that a little annoying, but the end was good. I liked Jenny and Giles are still progressing. I thought there could have been a little more Angel in this episode, not gonna lie. But I am intrigued by Spike and Drusilla, so I'm curious to see where this goes.
And I forgot to mention, like, yeah, like, I forgot about, like, whoa, Spike and Angel know each other. There's obviously, like, serious history there. Like, what's that about? Like, that's great to, like, start that thread of season 2. Because that is a huge, the whole, like, Spike, Drusilla, Angel history and, like, everything. Like, that's a huge thread of the season.
Okay, I'm curious. Yeah, I'm curious to see more about that, actually.
Really excited for this episode. I was waiting to get to this episode since we first started, so I'm very excited.
Yes, I know you're Team Spike.
I am Team Spike, yeah. I'm not a Spike apologist, so don't come at me. I am happy to give him a whack about the back of the head when I feel like it's warranted. He's not perfect, but he is my favorite character. So, honestly, like, when we first did our very first episode, like, very first episode, not an episode, like, not Welcome to the Hellmouth, but the one before that, I talked about, like, liking characters in the show and everything, even when, like, it's problematic, and, like, acknowledging that but still being able to like it. Spike is part of that, because he's not a perfect character by any stretch of the imagination. And, you know, calling that out, but, like, accepting it as a whole, whatever, as a fictional character on a show. So, yeah, so excited to see where it all goes. All right.
Okay.
Your question for next week. In the next episode called Inca Mummy Girl, someone comes to stay at Buffy's house. There's a house guest. Who is it? And it's somebody we haven't met. It can be very broad. Like, you don't have to know their name.
Okay, it's either got to be a family member or, like, who else would it be? Because I'm guessing Buffy's mom is going to be in the episode. Unless Buffy just hosts some random person while her mom's away. Okay, no, I'm going to go with family member.
Okay.
An aunt or uncle.
All right.
Or cousin. Aunt, uncle, cousin. Am I allowed to have that?
You can say family member.
Family member. Okay.
We'll keep it broad. All right, so that wraps up Season 2, Episode 3, School Hard. Again, you can find us on all major podcast apps and YouTube and Instagram at One Girl and All the World Pod. You can also email us at onegirlpod@gmail.com. Thanks for joining us, and we'll be back next week with Season 2, Episode 4, Inca Mummy Girl. Stay real soon.
Bye.